pop culture. Everything is permitted.
Welcome to episode 89 of Everything is Permitted here at Wade's Comic Madness. I am your captain and host, Julian Brown, alongside my co-host, the Man of Steel, Matt Reppert, and the Master of Puns, the birthday girl,
the Beeb-day,
Brittany Tomes. How we doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
I thought I could put this mask on as a yarmulke. It didn't really work.
I should be offended, but I'm not.
I mean, I just want to keep my head warm. It's like a little cold down here.
Wait, what?
Anyway.
Oh my.
It's been good.
It's been good. It has. It has. How was your working birthday?
It was wild. I love the attempt at surprising me, but I figured a surprise was coming because my coworkers and Wade were acting super weird. Like, the thing is, they were like trying too hard to act normal. It's like when you walk all the time as a person, but as soon as you think about walking, you start to walk weird. Does that make any sense?
True?
Or like you breathe all the time automatically, but then you think about breathing, and then you're like, oh my god.
Well, other things we learned about Brittany today.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
What?
or for example, like somebody could do something 80 times, but then as soon as you put them on film, they like don't know how to be, right?
Sure.
Like the average bear.
Yeah.
The average bear.
The average person.
bear.
Whatever. Either way, it was just, there were a lot of things where I was just like, okay. And also I have Wade's Facebook up, and then I was told, don't look at his Facebook messages because like I have to answer the store messages. So I was like, okay, that's like really odd thing to ask me to not look at. So I just would automatically X out of him, and I was just like, something's afoot. Something's the foot. And then Kevin's like, I'm going to be late tomorrow, and then wouldn't tell me why. And, like, I'm not going to be weird. Like, if it's a doctor's appointment or something personal, like, I'm not going to push and be whatever. But I was like, yeah, okay, man, whatever. And then
No HIPAA violations.
You lost me when you said you're not going to be weird.
Joe, like, snuck him in through the back and, like, everything else. But it was funny because, like, even Wade came in. I was like, hey, Wade. And I was, like, just trying to tell him, like, good things. Like, oh, I sold these wall books. I did this or whatever. And he's like, haha, yeah. And would just do, like, that fake laugh he does with customers. And I was like, what is going? And I was just like, they got to be doing something for my birthday. Like,
Now
sketch.
I'm really paranoid if I've ever been fake laughed at by Wade before.
Oh, I know. Because he'll do that shit sometimes where I just tell he's not in the mood to, like, carry on conversation with even us workers, like, if we're doing stuff or whatever, and he just wants to go focus on something else. He'll do the fake laugh and then walk away, and I'm like, don't you fucking fake laugh me, Wade. I was like, you save that for the customers that you want to be done talking to with.
Oh, I love it.
Like,
I love it.
Anyway, so the best was when they were all set up, I was upstairs and there were two customers, and I was, like, waiting to ring them up. I was working on fives, and then Kevin was just like, hey, Britt, I need your help. Can you come to the basement for a second? And I was like, okay, sure. Like, Kevin isn't like that usually. And Joe will usually be like, oh, you hear me, buddy? And, like, yell up from the... So the way they called me up was weird. And I'm like, could you just have done it normally? And then I looked around. They're all gone. And there's two customers up there. So I'm like, you're calling me to the basement and there's still customers up here.
They could fucking wait.
Well, no,
They're just buying comic
well, no, but that's
books.
the thing, because, like, normally, like, if there's still customers, like, someone could easily just grab a statue and fucking bolt if they want.
That's true.
So I was just like, okay. So I, like, walked down the stairs and I was like, guys, like, there's still people upstairs. And they're like, surprise! And I was like, God. I was like, okay, but somebody needs to ring up the customers. So.
Okay, but somebody's taking a statue right now. We need to get back up there.
Well, it's just funny because I'm like, because I was down there for so long, they, like, sang happy birthday and everything. It was just the three of us. And I was like, I hope those customers are still here and didn't, like, just book it.
It's funny you said that because I definitely saw a guy running around with an Infinity Gauntlet around like Wawa yesterday. So
if that happened, I would lose my job, even if it was my birthday and it wasn't my fault.
Oh man. Well, this week there are just 3 episodes left to go of WandaVision, and a major reveal was uncovered in Westview. So we're going to be talking all about that, and we're also going to have a refresher about said reveal because we know that Brittany likes to talk about said reveal, redacted, black mark. Then it is, because it is your birthday, Brittany, the Brittany Show, as she takes the board in honor of her big day and quizzes Matt and I on some geeky knowledge about herself. And we're probably going to fail. Probably going to fail miserably, but I gave her cool like game show buttons. She gets to have some fun.
Oh, no, just press all of them.
She's going to press them even
I won't
if
even
we're
let
wrong.
you guys answer.
Like, wrong.
Wrong, sir.
Hopefully they're not hard, but I don't know.
Finally, moves are being made, and the Night Car became a very prominent focus on Snowpiercer again. We have all of that to digest and go through on this episode of Everything is Permitted. But before we do so, Brittany, how can people go ahead and support our show?
If you want to support us, especially because it's my birthday, head over to everythingispermitted.com, hit our drop-down tab, select Patreon, and it'll shoot you over to our Patreon page. There you can select either $2 a month or $5 a month tiers, and no matter what, you get awesome bonus content, you get cool stickers, you get to give us ideas or be a part of our awesome little show community. So, yeah, you get all the things, including a bonus pod, which we're recording today. Woo! For February.
Yeah,
we
buddy.
do those once a month. Usually, as long as, life doesn't happen. I feel like COVID has really messed us up.
It has. It's messed the bonus pod schedule up a little bit, but we have a really fun one today. It's going to be a blast.
Oh, yes.
So.
Blasty blast.
And Matt, why don't you give our thanks?
Of course. So we're going to give thanks to Billy Peets, Heather Reppert, Rob Migliaccio, Michael Cox, Nikki Veazey, Matt Moore, Cabria Wimbush, Rob Carter, and I'm not going to go wrestling with them. I'm going to go with two of the best country singers ever, the McClinton brothers, Kyle and Connor.
Oh, Tom Clinton Power Hour.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I'm just making.
I like it.
They were a bunch of McCowboys back in the
You can't tell me that, like, and now, next on stage, the McClinton brothers. Like, woo, I love them.
Catch the replay on
She
CMT.
thinks my tractor sexy. Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, if obviously a big thank you to our patrons. You guys rock.
Absolutely.
If you can't support us financially and you still want to go ahead and support our show because you just like what you hear, go ahead, hit up Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review if you can, write up a little something nice about us. It helps get our show out to more people, and you could do that, I think, on Google Play as well. You can leave us a review or a thumbs up on Spotify and on Podbean. So go ahead and give us love. It's the love train. Snowpiercer is not.
1,034 cars long.
Actually, there is some love on Snowpiercer. 1,034 cars long.
Yeah.
I mean, Bess just keeps getting it.
I was going to say, Bess had that emotional break. We'll get to it.
We will.
She was going through it.
She was.
She was like, there's 2,000 people, less than 2,000 people, and I'm the gay one? How many potential love interests can I have?
Let's get into some rants and raves. And Birthday Girl, I'll open it to you first if you have one.
I'm going to decline.
Okay.
Actually, no. I won't. No, wait, hold on. I will say one thing.
It's Brittany, bitch.
It's a mini rant. I won't go on about it, but I will just say to people who are always weird about fictional characters being cast a different way than you've seen them, just know that, like, you don't understand the comics you're reading or the original point to them to begin with. Like, I'm fine with Supergirl being cast as, quote, non-white.
I love her.
Like, her and Superman, I ran it on Twitter last night, they are not even from Earth. There's no reason they gotta be white. They only looked white because they were made in, like, the 40s. So people weren't gonna be okay if they weren't. And no matter what, they were made by the children of Jewish immigrants. So it's an immigrant story. It's about what they've gone through, and that's the point of those characters. So if they're literally coming to Earth from another world, they don't have to be white. Honestly, I hope there's not more planets with white people on it in the universe. I'm kind of over it, and I'm already on this one, so I'm cool.
You cool?
Let aliens be aliens. Let them be anybody who wants to play them.
Agreed.
The end. That's my rant.
Do you want me
you
to
go
rant
first,
and then
because
you will
you go first, because I know you and I are going to disagree hard on this. You be the negative, I'll be the positive.
What is it in Law and Order? You're the defense and I'm the
Good cop, bad cop.
prosecution.
Cross-examination, go.
So
I picture now like an everything is permitted, like Law and Order thing. Like sometimes in nerd community there are disagreements.
Law and Order EIP. do 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 do.
Okay.
I demand a recount.
Destiny. Yeah, it's that time for another Julian Destiny rant.
It's that time of year when he cries about this game.
So I hadn't played since The Dawning because The Dawning sucked and it made me just want to cry.
The Dawning made him yawning.
And
so you didn't do Season of the Hunt at all or anything?
I thought Season of the Hunt was awful, and I think that's actually a pretty big consensus in the Destiny community.
It was average, I'd say.
It was pretty bad. I got Hawkmoon. That's what matters. I got Hawkmoon. I didn't finish it. I think you can still finish it. Anyway, I might not though.
Sorry.
If this rant confirms what I'm going to say. So one of the things that intrigued me about the new season was you were going to go get to like visit this Cabal ship in space and do an exotic quest about it. And like anytime you get one of these exotic quests, like they're usually pretty good, right? So I fired up Destiny. I did the first wave of the new public event that they do every season now. That's generally pretty boring. This one actually wasn't bad, but it doesn't really like do anything for me. But after I got done through all that, I went and did the new little area of the arms dealer strike, and I got the
transmitter,
transmission.
Whatever it was.
I went to Zavala, and he's like, Osiris is going to help you, and you need to go to the ship and go find the Guardian that died.
That's the best voice acting I've ever heard.
Thanks. So I did. I went to the ship, and it's cool. I'm not usually a big fan of jumping puzzles, but I liked jumping
on the outside of the
ship. I thought it was anyway. This exotic quest is really, really cool. It's got great elements. It's got a mix of puzzles, combat, and like little secret areas, and I dig that.
That's all I need.
And it was long. It's a long mission, especially if you're doing it solo. Now, disclaimer, I, at this point in my Destiny career, quote unquote, am a solo Destiny player. I don't like playing with my clan. That's not a knock on them. I just don't like playing with people. I don't have the time or energy to like find people to play with and go onto Discord and like wait because it takes forever for a game to get going and for people to all join up. With 2 kids and life and 2 podcasts, I don't have the kind of time. I've always leaned towards being a single player Destiny player anyway. So that's just where I am again. So I went in thinking, okay, I was able to solo the Hawkmoon mission, right? I should be able to and that was with nothing. That was with no Masterworks, no like fitted out loadout. I was able to complete it. It was still difficult, and people online will say like it's difficult to solo. To say that this was difficult to solo is an understatement. This mission is Bungie saying what?
Your chances of success were so low.
Yeesh.
Is this the right button?
I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Ah.
Yeah.
I was surprised by shame.
The difficulty against the other problem with this I have is that the difficulty pushes up. It says like 1130, but I'm like 1260, but the enemies were red.
Yeah,
so like,
it adjusts based off of
so don't
level.
do that. That's dumb. I hate that in the first place. Like if you're gonna have it at a power level, have it at a power level. Anyway, this whole thing. Once I got to the middle part where you have to survive the swarms of ads
in the hangar bay,
it got to me, and I was very much realizing Bungie never made this with the intent to be soloed. They want you to find people to play with. They want you to play with a group. And I died, I think, a total of like 50 times trying to do this. I finally got past that part and I thought that was the end. And I was like, okay, that wasn't too bad. And then it just kept going. And I'm like, okay, I like that it's long. It is a good piece of content.
Yeah.
And then I get to the boss, and it's just if you are not a player who cares about speccing out your armor and speccing out your guns and getting the god rolls, you are not able to complete this as a solo player. It is not geared for you to be able to do that, and that is infuriating. And Bungie continues to basically say fuck you to the solo players and more casual players out there in Destiny who don't care about that stuff. Like, I hate Armor 2.0. I think it's dumb. I get that people like it, and especially the people who are all about modding out their shit, but it's not my thing. And that's the stance of a lot of players who are the same kind of player as me. I'm someone who at this point is like, do I really have the time to invest in this game anymore? And after playing this mission and not being able to complete it, which took me 2 hours or so because I was solo and trying to figure all the puzzles out, I felt like kind of betrayed by Bungie, and that really upsets me. I know that your argument is that they need to cater to the more hardcore fan base, but at the same time, there are a huge contingent of Destiny players out there who do play solo and don't care about all the spec stuff. And that's what I loved about Destiny 1. I could do really hard activities, and if I concentrated and did them right, without having to spec out all my armor and shit, because that wasn't in Destiny 1, I could still do it if I tried really hard. Like, I didn't feel like I had that opportunity in this, and that really makes me not want to play the game anymore if that's just going to continue to be the case.
So here's where I'm going to disagree with you in many ways. You can solo that mission. I haven't attempted it yet. The only reason I did it I've done it with groups as one. The first time was doing it, and we went in blind. We didn't look up anything. And it was myself and 2 friends, and we had a great time because we were exploring. Like, what the fuck is
Going
this?
in
What is
blind
this?
is
What
great.
is all this?
Yeah.
You know, we did that. So that was fun. And then I ran it like 2 or 3 more times, helping out other people to get them through. The Destiny community, I actually find, I'm not saying, trust me, it's not universal, but there's a lot of people out there willing to help and get you through. And I understand single player stuff can be difficult at times, and I'm very much a single player myself. I only do stuff in fire teams because I have to for certain, like the raid or something.
Yeah, okay, that's understandable.
But the thing is that, like, for example, doing, say, the Pit of Heresy or Prophecy, you can do those solo. They're difficult.
Absolutely.
They're hard as hell.
Yes, but those you could do solo without having to probably spec out as much as you would for this mission, and with increased difficulty of ads.
Well, I'm at this point though, as that I view it like your argument though, I view it as, imagine playing an RPG like Final Fantasy VII and getting to the boss and getting your ass whooped because you didn't have the materia, you didn't have the spells, you didn't have the health potions.
That literally happened to me the first time I played Final Fantasy X because I didn't understand the sphere grid.
Yes.
Because I was a child.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Every game, if it's designed a certain way, has an element of you need to prep your shit before you get here because you're going to get wrecked if you don't. And I get it. And Destiny, and the thing is that I think where part of your anger comes from is that you've played Destiny so much is that you're kind of upset you're not at the point where you can. And as I said, if you play pretty much all of the difficult missions, like Presage, obviously the newest one, the Harbinger mission now where you get a pinnacle, random rolled Hawkmoon and stuff like that. If you play them carefully and, you don't rush in and everything, you can beat them solo. You really can. I know tons of people that do it all the time, and they're not like sweaty, hardcore, like, yeah, I have like 5 different classes of armor that I'm ready to go at any moment.
I just felt that going in solo at, like a pretty decent light level, like, because
what's your light level?
I was like 1253. I didn't like go hardcore to. I mean, it's enough. Like that should be enough when it says base 1130.
I mean, the thing is though, is that it's the ad, and people have actually discussed this, and because a couple of people and I were talking about it last night, and we feel like for some reason the ads hit harder this season. Like I'm a 13. I'm a 13. 3 on most of my characters, and I can tell you that some of these ads are like, damn.
Well, the issue with that too is that if you're going to this solo, Scorn are some of the hardest enemies in Destiny.
Yes.
So that's also an issue. And I felt like even using good guns and raid guns, like I did the raid, like I have the raid weapons, like using loadouts that I know could do harder missions, like I wasn't going to be able to beat that boss. Because the ads were hitting me hard, and then the boss was hitting me hard. Like I figured out a strategy how to do the cooling things, like that was fine, but I knew I was never going to be able to beat that boss by myself. And yeah, like you said, you could probably cheese him with Anarchy, or I could spend the giant sums of money to go get Anarchy. I guess I need to do that, but like,
you get the spoils of conquest or whatever it's called.
I don't think that Bungie cares anymore about the solo player. I really don't.
I think yes and no, because my thing is that they're trying to keep people engaged, and honestly, and I will say you're kind of in the minority on not liking this mission because most people I know love it.
I love the mission.
Okay.
I love the mission. I said it to you before we started recording.
Yeah.
I think the mission is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing that I have to basically conform to being like, I'm not trying to use this as a snobby word, but like an elitist Destiny player where I have to go and like really mess with my armor and like get like a specific loadout. Like I should be able to go in there and, be ultra careful and after a few tries, like get it with the guns I have. Anybody should be able to do that just like in Destiny 1, and I don't feel like that's the case here.
See, I don't think that Destiny 1 though, because once again, could you do Prison of Elders solo on the heroic? No, you couldn't.
But that is supposed to be a team activity. That is a team activity.
Well, what hard activity in Destiny 1 could you do solo?
Nightfalls. Some of the really hard Nightfalls you could do solo easily.
You could solo the hard Nightfalls.
You can. No, you
can still do that.
No, I know, but like
there's
a discrepancy though. If I can solo the Hawkmoon mission I should be able to, so like at the same difficulty and with the same stuff that I have, I should be able to do the same for this.
The thing is, though, is that the original Hawkmoon mission Harbinger was designed for you to just be able to get the gun. And the thing is then...
No, but I went and, sorry to interrupt, I went and did the harder things and I was still able to do those solo.
What, with the updated one where you have like the rotating boss every week that comes in?
I did one of the rotating bosses, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I'd be curious if because did you get a randomly rolled Hawkmoon out of it?
Maybe not. I'm not entirely sure.
So I don't think you've done the updated Harbinger mission because it is difficult.
Yeah.
And the boss, you have a different boss. Like I don't know if I think there's like 2 or 3 different bosses every week they change. But the thing is though is that, and I understand. So here's where I will defend Bungie, unfortunately. So Bungie, the thing with Bungie is that they're in this position where they're trying to please, they can't please everybody.
Right.
They're not going to please everybody. And to me, something that's a little bit more difficult, you feel a sense of accomplishment getting it done.
100%.
Like me and the 2 guys I was with, when we beat that mission, we were like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We did it. Awesome. This is cool. And I like helping other people through that. And honestly, like, this is where it's like either I wish I was on PlayStation or you were on Xbox. I'd be like, I'll get you through, Julian.
Well,
like,
dude,
no problem.
let me tell you, if and I hear it's in the works. Like if there was crossplay, I'd be like, I feel like you and I would be playing this together all the fucking time.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you'll so you'll find that if you ever do certain, like especially a raid with me, you'll find out very quickly that I'm very much a like we're getting through this bullshit and I'm not fucking around with you guys.
Anyway, I have to. I know that kind of went on for a long time, but
Yeah.
I have very strong feelings. I've been playing this game since day one. It has a very special place in my heart, but I just don't know if it's geared towards my lifestyle anymore. So
No, I understand. I understand, like with a family and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's hard to sink the time into it because a lot of people I know that play it hardcore are like on disability.
Yeah.
So I mean, and they're above me because they don't do anything but play it all day.
Right.
So
Anyway, that's my rant. We'll see. We'll see if I come back and try it again with people. I don't know. I have a quick, very 2-second rave. I got my first shot of the vaccination, and I'm very excited. So
once you get your second, the 5G will kick in.
Shots,
it's amazing.
shots.
I already
Shots.
hear Bill in my head a little bit.
Oh my god, dude! I watched something about Bill Gates, and I really am pissed off at him. And
Ooh,
yeah,
we can talk about that
there's
later.
always a reason to be pissed off at millionaires.
I know
They're
that it's
bad.
no. This is bad. This is really bad. Like Bill Gates was always kind of like he's wealthy, but I don't view him as an asshole. Like as much of an asshole. What he and his wife did in their foundation.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway.
Oh boy. All right. Is there?
Talk about gatekeeping.
Ooh.
Do you have a rant?
I know. As I said, I was just gonna rave about the mission. It's well designed. It's like a mix of Alien and like a couple other things. It was so much fun to explore it, and I love when Bungie drops this kind of content with a little bit of maybe sometimes a little bit of notice or something, but no real like trailer for it or anything. Like here comes the presage or whatever you say, presage.
Presage. I like presage.
Presage Ventress?
Presage mission, like where they just drop it and just basically you just go in blind and you're just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what is this? So, yeah.
Yep. Like I said, I thought the mission was fantastic. It very well made. Yeah. Very well made.
Yeah, I do dislike the scoring though. They're such a
score,
pain in the ass. It's the screams.
I love when you guys talk about like the levels for your characters and you're sounding like this a really amazing like SAT or credit score. And I'm just like, wow, how do you get a 1250?
My 1302. Thank you very
I think
much.
the higher is worse, right? You want
For
low
credit?
numbers for
No
credit?
credit. You want high.
Yeah, like you
Your
want to be
credit
like
score. If you want like an
700 or
800.
800.
Yeah, 700,
Yeah.
800.
Oh yeah, no, but not like 12. Is there such thing as a 1200?
No,
No, I was saying like or SAT
Okay.
scores.
Yeah,
That's
about
when
to say,
I went like
I think like 850 is where like if you're an 850
it's
or
gas
above.
prices you're thinking of, bud. That's what you want lower.
Yeah.
Duh.
It's okay.
Anything else, guys?
No.
All right, then.
Look at me, the youngin, making the jokes about credit scores.
What, 28 now? Right?
27.
27.
The cold.
It's funnier that you
I'm
guess
trying to
higher.
age you towards 30 because,
Everybody thinks I'm
Yeah, I know.
35, so I just don't correct them anymore.
All right, guys, let's get to the
Permitted minute.
Oh, we're going to go country time now. It's the permitted minute. With Kyle McClinton and Connor McClinton.
come and get your beans, come and get your
Beans
steak.
and cornbread,
It
I said beans and
is
cornbread.
Oh my
the permitted minute,
Jesus.
and we are going to go here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Gatus, start the clock.
In some amazing news, we want to congratulate Sasha Calle on landing the role of Supergirl in the upcoming Flash film. Sasha is the first Latina actor to play the role, and we couldn't be more excited.
On a very special Clone High. Wait, Clone High? Yes, it is back. It is getting a 2-season reboot over at HBO Max.
Boom, round 1, fight! Fans were treated this week to the full Red Band trailer for the upcoming Mortal Kombat film, which heavily featured Sub-Zero doing some badass Sub-Zero shit.
Anybody got a light? A Constantine reboot is also in the works over at HBO Max, but neither Keanu Reeves nor Matt Ryan is playing the title role. Instead, the writing team is looking for a non-white actor to play the role, and the series will be sharing a universe with J.J. Abrams' produced Justice League Dark series. More congratulations is in order to those at NASA and NASA Jet Propulsion Lab for the successful landing of Perseverance on Mars. There's now a helicopter drone on Mars.
Everybody is back home. Both The Punisher and Jessica Jones' rights have reverted back to Marvel Disney.
Finally, in a prequel we're not quite sure we need, we got a very Joker Tim Burton-esque trailer for the upcoming Cruella film starring Emma Stone.
Time is a
Told
luxury you don't.
Told you.
Did.
Cruella Intentions.
We were like 7 seconds over.
To be fair, number 4 was like a little lengthy.
It needed to be, though.
It did.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it really did.
It's
but.
okay. I realized that because I'm reading it on my phone, the light behind me kept like
Oh,
blocking
no.
chunks of text. So I was like, I hope this is what it's saying.
Predictive reading, I guess.
Yeah, I was just like,
Blah, 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 blah,
that's
blah.
okay.
Me.
That's what we get for trying to give you the news.
Anywho, it is time to get into our WandaVision Breaking the Fourth Wall review, and we're just going to say it.
Who's been messing up everything?
It's been Agatha all along. And I killed Sparky, too.
What did I fucking tell you? I even told you she killed the dog for a reason.
I love how when you get really excited now, you move your mic up and down like a fucking radio host.
I even do it on the other podcast. I'm like, hold on. And I'll like grab the mic. It felt so good this episode. I've been waiting for the reveal the whole fucking show, and I'm like, are they ever going to do it? Are they going to wait till the very end of the show? And the way they did it made me so happy. I actually stood up in my chair and just was like, yes, thank you. When the song was playing, I was like, yes, sing.
I thought that they were supposed to be hour-long episodes. It was only like 37
The last two.
minutes. Oh, okay.
The last two, I believe. Or it's either the last 3 or the last 2.
And I really love that last week I specifically used certain wording when I was talking about the shark commercial. And I said, and what likes to eat magic? And you yelled Mephisto. And I said, there are magical beings out there that love to eat your magic. And I didn't say specifically it was Mephisto. And in this episode, she straight up was like, when she was talking to the kids, and she's like, don't worry, I promise I won't bite. And she did the teeth like the shark. And then she was just like, I have bit a kid once, though. Like, as soon as she did that, I was like, they're going to reveal this episode who she is.
So do you think that they're not going to do a double whammy and not have Mephisto too?
They
or?
could easily still have many more magical things, but I think that there's, like, especially since it showed her spell book and then she revealed herself to her, I think they're going to go like she's an ancient Order of the Mystic Arts witch from like original Salem times. Could possibly teach her or not, because that's what Agatha does. She likes to fuck with magic. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But there's still room for them to add more. But they might just be building to bigger things that they'll do in Phase 4 as opposed to revealing it on the show. But either way, there's no way they're going to put Agnes in that whole fucking show being sketchy as hell and not eventually be like, you're right, it's Agatha.
Nice.
I love the song. I wasn't expecting the song, and it's like so Munsters sounding. Like as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, doon, 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 doon. I was like, let's fucking go. I was on, like, just seeing her like behind the scenes, like doing her
You
little magic
texted
shit.
me just in time to get that soundbite ready. I did a little like quick slicing and dicing.
Well, I would have asked like a few days ago, but I didn't want to spoil it for anybody that was going to see the episode to know that there's a song.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, oh, it's so cathartic. Every time it pops up on Twitter, like somebody shares it, I just listen to it, and I'm like, oh, it fills my soul with joy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you got to know.
Nice. Matt, what are your thoughts on Breaking the Fourth Wall?
I mean, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. The reveal of Agatha, which, I mean, thanks to Brittany, there was no surprise on my part. No, it's fine. And I mean, and I'm trying to get Heather to watch this because I want to get her reaction to it, because she would go in blind. She would have like no no preconceptions, no knowledge of anything. So I would be very curious to see how somebody who has no outside knowledge of this would react to it. So
I just remember last week when I ranted about like the fact that there was like the film skip that happened right before Vision saw her in the car and before Petro was talking to Wanda, and I was like, it's really weird that these two characters have those skips and they also both know too much and they're pretending they don't know too much. It's just chef's kiss. Oh.
Chef's kiss.
So I was actually curious, what are Monica's powers supposed to be? Because obviously her eyes go blue and all that. So
in the episode, like they show that it's weird.
She kind of broke Wanda's like hold on her. It seemed like.
Well, before she even goes through and technically gets her powers, the very first time she shows up in the show, she's looking at the force field and she like sees more of it than Jimmy Woo does to begin with. And I was like, oh, cool, she already has powers. Whatever. She gets her powers here, which I'll allow technically. It's the only thing this show I'm like a little bummed about, but it's okay because she got to shine, literally. I think they're gonna like end up calling her Spectrum, which is like one of the names she goes by in the comics.
Not Photon.
I was hoping Photon, but like really they showed her looking at the whole like UV spectrum.
Yeah, that's
and then
true.
the way her eyes keep like glowing and doing things, I was like, oh, they're gonna do that.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was cool.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of like Geordi's fake eyes from Star Trek.
Yeah.
You know, when it first shows her the blue eyes, I was like, oh, Geordi eyes. We got Geordi eyes. Like, I was not expecting that, but yes.
Yeah.
I just like when like Wanda was like yeet, and then she was like, no, superhero landing. I was like, yes, Monica.
The superhero
yes.
landing was pretty fucking baller, I'm gonna say. So I didn't love this episode. Just gonna put that out. I love the Agatha reveal. Gonna say that before you.
No, everybody loves the Agatha reveal.
Yeah, that was awesome. The reason I didn't like this episode isn't because of like any of the stuff moving the plot forward. That was all very good. I hate, with a capital H, Modern Family, and that whole style of television.
The just talking to the camera. Wait,
breaking the fourth wall.
What about like The Office or something? You don't like? Oh my god!
Yeah, it was a mixture of both of those
The
things.
Office.
So yeah, it makes sense.
So like.
I just
made the same face.
Elizabeth Olsen, like,
she does a great fucking job, phenomenal of copying those actors.
She did, but it was so boring.
It did feel a little forced
it was
to me.
Boring, and that dry bullshit humor that's supposed to be funny that's just not. And I was just like,
did you at least get a chuckle when Vision was like doing that? He's like, wait, why am I sitting here talking to you? I need to get out of here.
I got a chuckle at that point.
I like when he looks over in the car.
Yeah. I liked the Vision Darcy stuff a lot. I like that Darcy was basically giving him his whole superhero origin story.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was.
You died and then you died
like,
again.
I was Jarvis. And then I was the seed of Ultron. She's like,
yeah.
Yep, that's about it. Yeah.
And then you died.
Yeah.
And then you tried to escape, and I guess you died again.
Yeah. So those scenes, and they're Paul Bettany and why am I going to forget her name? Someone help me.
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings' chemistry is very good. Everybody has great chemistry on this show. Like Kat Dennings, Randall Park.
I knew you were trying to think of it.
He's like Jimmy Woo.
I unfortunately don't know the actress's name who plays Monica Rambeau, but they're
Tiana Paris.
Sure.
Don't take my word for it. I want to look it up real quick.
But
Brianna
great,
Torres,
and then Paul Bettany with Kat Dennings is just fantastic.
I was right.
Yay. So yeah, I wish they had done a different 2000 era show. I don't know. Like
what else was
I know.
really popular then? Though?
Exactly. That's a good point. So anyway, other than that, the Agatha reveal with the song and everything was awesome. And Brittany, I hope you don't yell at me too much. My one complaint with the reveal is
I don't care. I'm over the fucking moon. It doesn't matter what you say.
is her secret lair.
Oh God,
she's so mad.
God.
That's not her secret lair, Julian. That's just some of the places she puts her magic stuff currently in her fake basement in this fake fucking reality.
So secret lair. No matter what way you look at it, whether it's a different reality or plane of existence, it's still a secret lair.
No. Okay. So mad. I gotta find my words. Okay, so It's purposefully reminiscent of
The woods.
the Nexus. A lot's going to happen in Phase 4. You have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, all that shit. And the multiverses exist not just parallel to each other, but there are points where they connect, known as the Nexus. A lot of different fantasy stories use this. Even the Dark Tower in Stephen King, the tower itself is the nexus point of all his realities.
Yeah, as soon as they said the Nexus, I'm like, that has to be.
Yeah,
obviously, yeah.
I feel as though this is one of those points
Right.
where this is a nexus. It also makes sense that it's the epicenter because if you remember how like the magic only affected so far, and you always thought it was following Wanda.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
But anyway, that's all I'm going to say for now.
So that's cool.
It's viney and creepy. It's funny that she does have like glass cases of just like skulls and shit. I was like, so witchy.
The set was just like, okay, we get it, you're a witch. Like, it was a little bit over the top, which...
So
it's crazier that Wanda didn't realize sooner.
Is her... So here's something, like, you mentioned her spell book, and something I'm curious about. Is that supposed to be, like, a source of her powers,
Hold
or...
on. Okay, so wizards.
Oh, boy.
There's differences between wizards, sorcerers, and, like, different magic users. Wizards...
Are we talking
are the most
specifically in
powerful
Marvel?
And all fantasy. Let me get there. Wizards have spell books for a reason. There's only so many spells and incantations and things that like somebody could physically remember and be able to do. And certain rituals take longer periods of time and you need to like be able to read them and have like a catalog of them. A wizard's spell book is tied directly to them. Like another wizard isn't supposed to use their spell book. The only way you can really get it is if you kill them and you take it. It's like a whole thing. But then you have to like half the time it's written in their own code. So it's a whole nother thing. I won't get into that. I'm going to get too far into fantasy lore. But that being said, this isn't necessarily like the source of her power, but she is able to do like the sort of hexes and like magic stuff that Wanda does. Like you see her do stuff with her hands or whatever. That's like innate magic that she knows and can do. But like bigger, crazier shit is going to be in that book. And that's like the multiverse maybe things.
So do you think that them doing something to that book is how they're going to, quote, defeat Agatha?
They better not defeat her in the end. She better be like somebody that continues in Phase 4.
Well, I mean, I'm saying like just how they end the show because like, aha, we defeat it. And then you have that little post-credit scene where you just see her like,
No, I feel like Agatha's going to be like, if they do it smart, they'll make her like a Loki where you're like, she's always floating around. Sometimes she's bad. Sometimes she's helping you out. But overall, she's not like the big bad of Phase 4. That would be really fucking stupid if they did that. But
yeah,
who knows with Marvel? They need more villains that don't just die off in one film. I will say that, or one show. So I think Marvel is being smart in building it up. But like, this connects into like Disassembled in so many ways, and I'm getting sweaty just thinking about it. But someone even theoretically said that, like, what if Doctor Strange shows up like he does in the comics because it's tying into the mystic arts, and he shows up and he's like, y'all fucked up. Realities are being messed up. Things are going to shit. And then that goes, boom, into the next movies, which I hope they don't do. But mystic arts, that's all you need to know. She's connected to that shit. So already Doctor Strange will know who she is because she's been around way longer than him. He is a chump. He is a normal human. She has been around since the BC. She knows Atlantis sunk because she fucking watched it. She didn't cause it, but she knows it happened. So
also, I was slightly disappointed by the from the last episode, that whole line of like, oh, there's an astrophysicist to being precisely nothing, just some random major.
Nothing.
Yet.
It was just like, oh yeah, some astrophysicist is going to meet that I know is going to, okay, great. Okay, cool. Oh my God, who could it be? Oh, it's some random major. We don't
I feel
know
like
or care about.
all this shit will hopefully happen in the last 2 episodes, but they leave it so vague that like no one can for sure be like, it's definitely going to be this person because there's just too many options.
I have a question for you, and that is for people that know the comics pretty well and know Scarlet Witch's story as well. Was this probably like one of the worst kept secrets that Marvel's tried to do? Or
I don't even think it was a secret. Like I think literally
it was right in front of you.
As soon as they cast Catherine Hahn as quote Agnes, everybody was like, so she's Agatha, right? Like it was just one of those things that most people were expecting because of.
Now, should they have like not named her Agnes to make it so close to Agatha?
But you see, it's so on the nose. Like it's so fun because you're like, is this just a trick? Are they doing this so we'll think it's Agatha, or is she really Agatha? And also the fact that she's cast as a younger woman. She's not just some like bitty old crone who lives next door and talks like a witch, you know? Oh, Agatha.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just. I was happy it finally happened, because if I had to wait 2 more episodes and they were like just never going to reveal, I would have lost my shit. But I never lost hope. Let it be known. Everybody and their moms were like, I don't know, man. At this point, it might be a red herring. And I was like, the only thing red about all this is Scarlet Witch's wardrobe.
My other big complaint about this episode, and I saw this complaint from a lot of other people, is what series were we watching? Maybe it was Mando. Maybe it was another one of these short series that... Oh, Picard. Mm-hmm. Where this episode specifically, even though they ended on like, haha, it's Agatha... It felt very sudden, like it wasn't supposed to end there, and that they like cut something to save it for the next episode, and it was very evident in this one. When it went to credits, I was the
little credit scene as well.
Well, I almost thought it was weird that they included the credit scene. The credit scene felt like it didn't need to be there.
Right, agreed.
Like they could have not had it, and you could have at least known like, okay, well at least Monica's outside, and she definitely saw her going in the house. So like, is Monica gonna come checking things out? But I think they just wanted to show that, like, when she turned around, it was Pietro, and he was just like, no snooping.
Yeah.
Swiper, no swiping.
Let's talk about that. What does that mean? Is he going to help her, or is he like an agent of Agatha's?
Remember what I said a long time ago when he appeared, which was only like 3 episodes ago.
But
I was like, I don't know if he's going to be here to manipulate or help as well, because he's done both. I like how it showed that she was like, hoo, when he was at the doorway. So you know that she had something to do with his appearance here. But it's hard because they leave it so vague now that you're like, is he an illusion that she just creates? Is he actually the version from the alternate reality that is the X-Men films from Fox? Like, it depends on what way they take it, because they purposely leave it so vague at the end that you can't for sure be like, you know, when he appeared at the end of the episode, we're just like, oh man, this is literally the X-Men universe crossing over. Like, but at this point, it's like, well, if he's a magical conjuration, he could just be an illusion she's created. That's a lot of why the dialogue when they're talking, he doesn't have the same memories as her, vice versa. Yeah. So it just depends. They have like 3 different paths they could take, and it's just like, which is it?
Which will it be? Door number 1.
Does he have his own thoughts?
Damn
it's
it.
Okay. But the one thing I will say is that they also leave it vague as shit when Monica turns around and then her eyes are glowing purple, because they were already glowing purple when she opened the basement door, and the way that they're glowing is just around the iris. There wasn't like happening. So I'm guessing that she was just analyzing the UV spectrum, which was purple as shit when she opened the door, because that was a lot of purple down there, and that her eyes were glowing because of that. And then when she turns around and he talks to her, that's just the remnants. But we'll see.
We will indeed.
She's powerful, and Wanda knows. That's the only reason she's like, I'll let you live, but don't fuck with me again. But come on, tell me you guys didn't know as soon as Agnes was like, nope, you gotta go. She's like, you should not be here. And then like grabbed Wanda and walked away, and I was just like, oh.
Oh, I mean, it was pretty obvious at that point, right? Yeah.
I was like, for all those who doubted me.
I'm just curious at this point is, why did Agatha reveal herself?
Because it's fun. And also she couldn't not, because Wanda literally walked down to the basement and looked at all her witch shit. And she
she told her to go down there. She's like, where are the twins? Like, oh, they're probably in the basement.
Well, I wonder if Agatha. I was wondering if Agatha wasn't exactly planning on her like not noticing where her kids were. Speaking of, where are the kids?
Actually,
did they ever exist?
So here is a question. What? Because Wanda was like, I don't know why this is happening. Why are things like phasing? Because my first thought had been because she expanded everything, she can't.
That was my first.
She can't.
And she was like mentally unstable.
Yeah.
I love that she was the one behind the camera too. And she was just like, wait, you're not supposed to talk. I just love that little, it plays in my head, and it just, I don't know, gives me serotonin or like whatever happy juices are in your brain.
One of those. Anything else on WandaVision's breaking the fourth wall?
I feel like there's a lot, and I'm just so focused on that.
Well, I know you kind of gave some
Agatha backstory.
Yeah, but is there anything else that we need to know about her now that she's been revealed moving into the next episode?
I would just say anything you want to know, I guess Google. Like there's enough. There's databases. Like you can go to the Marvel database and just look up Agatha Harkness.
And all the nerd websites have already written up like Agatha Harkness in five bullet points.
That's one thing. I'm so tired of all like the clickbait articles that people do. And like there was one I saw the other day where they were comparing what the Scarlet Witch is going through to like Dark Phoenix Saga, and I was like, literally stop.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
this is the
no.
dumbest
Oh,
shit. I was
God.
like, just because they're two powerful women who wear red and have mental breakdowns doesn't mean their stories are actually remotely the fucking same. Like, it's just, and the thing is, they want people to click on it so they'll learn more, and then they're like not actually related at all, and they're just like, it could be a connection. I'm like, any fucking comic can be related to another.
The
It's just
literal
stupid.
only way that those two are connected is that they're both Omega level mutants. and
Exactly.
That's it.
Who wear red
Who wear-
and lose
okay,
their
yes,
shit.
who wear-
Like,
yes,
that's it, though.
okay.
Because their plots, like, read the original Phoenix Saga. Don't pay attention to, like, whatever the recent films have said, but read it. Has nothing.
I still refuse
do
to
with
watch
this.
Dark Phoenix.
I haven't either. Because
I still
I was
watched
so
it.
excited to
I
see it. And then
should
it
at
was,
some point, but
I watched the ending because it was on TV, and I was like, I'm really happy that's all I had to see because it was so bad. It was, dude, it was like almost shot for shot the ending of X3. Like, yeah. Yeah.
great.
I will say about this episode, I like that it's called Breaking the Fourth Wall because not only is that what those sitcoms quote do, but like throughout the whole show, she has constantly broke the fourth wall. Like, not even in like a Deadpool funny way, but like Agnes just has. And
Yeah.
you're just like, you're goofy as shit. Oh, someone asked me the other day, like, or they were like, where's her husband? Or like, why haven't you seen her yet? And I was like, there was no fucking husband. Like, that's been evident since like episode 1. Like, she was always like, well, my husband and I, and you don't see him.
Ralph and I are.
Which is funny because I think Agatha, you never learned about her husband in the comics too. She's always like, my husband, and then like you don't see him. So, but yeah, Google it. Make sure it's the Earth 616 version because God knows what shit they'll tell you about any other reality. But who knows? This universe isn't even 616, so who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows indeed.
Let's give this our EIP rating out of 5, and Brittany's going to kill me because it's not what it is. Underground layers.
5 out of 5 spell books.
You know what? I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 only for the fact that I could finally be like, thank you. Because if she didn't end up being Agatha Harkness for some reason, I would have been so fucking annoyed forever. I would have been like, that was the dumbest shit. I'm just relieved. It was a sigh of relief, so 5 out of 5. I will say I would rate it less only because I didn't get to see her whole fucking outfit. She lands, and then her outfit changes to, like, the 50s shit. And I was like, God, show me the witchy outfit!
Show me the witchy.
Nice.
But let it be known. I was right.
Yes, you were. Matthew.
I'll go 4 out of 5 because while it was done very well, I did kind of at the beginning with the whole like talking to the camera thing. At some points, I was kind of like, God, just get to the stuff that just advance the plot, please. I'm trying to, and as much as I enjoyed the Vision, Darcy stuff and all that, when he's just like. He's like, oh, she's trying to block me. Like, dude, you can fucking fly.
Yeah.
Like, why are you sitting in this little
And
ass
why didn't
van?
you carry her with you?
Yeah, I also wondered that. Like, why didn't he just pick Darcy up and just take her with him? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I like that it wasn't transmitting to the outside either.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
yeah.
they're like, we don't know. It's like this. There's nothing on the TV. And I was just
Transmission
like,
has stopped.
I'm gonna be the nitpicky guy. I'm gonna
it's like
give
1 out of 5.
No, God no. I'm gonna
0 out of 5.
give -5 out of 5. It was
For every
a
level-
bore.
Feminist
No, I was going to say for every level downwards, her secret lair is.
Agatha, a female MCU villain. The feminists are taking over. -10 out of 5.
Cartoon did nothing wrong.
Anyway, we're having fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 because I hate Modern Family, and the being only half hour killed me, and the abrupt ending was weird. So 3 out of 5.
That's
That's it.
understandable. I felt like it was, compared to other episodes, the normal episode part was lackluster.
Yep.
And
Yes.
then it was just like, yes!
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
I'm gonna give the board up to
Uh-oh.
Brittany because it is the Brittany Show.
Chairman of the board!
So I'm
This is
gonna
gonna be a
All aboard.
disaster. I don't know how many of these I'm gonna be able to answer.
All aboard Snowpiercer. Okay, listeners, are you ready for the Brittany Show? Our contestants today are Julian and Matt, arguably some of my closest friends, and my podcast co-host. We'll see how they do. I tried to make some questions maybe they don't know the answers to, or maybe they do. Let's find out. First, Matt and Julian. Sorry, Julian and Matt. I looked at you in different order. You're going to do rock, paper, scissors to determine who will go first. Go.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. God damn it!
All right,
One for Julian. One for me. We're down.
The game is
It's a dead heat.
Oh, Matt goes first.
Okay, so Matt won the battle so far. That means he's going to go first. Get ready for the first question.
Okay, I'm ready.
So we do, if he doesn't get it right, I have the opportunity to steal. And if I don't get it right, he has the opportunity to steal.
Who's keeping score, by
I
the
was
way?
literally just going to like tally who gets what right. Like you can both answer the questions.
Okay.
Julian's like, it's no fair.
Let's
That's
just do
a
the
tie.
steal. Let's just
Fine,
do the
we'll
steal.
do the steal.
Do the steal.
You guys keep, I'll keep track. So, who is a famous person Brittany has met in real life? This could be anybody that I've
Troy
met.
Baker.
Ding ding. You are right.
Damn it, I was going to say Troy Baker.
Do you want to offer another person I've met for a point?
Who's more famous?
Ooh. Yes, and I'm probably going to be wrong, but I'll do it anyway. Nolan North.
Yeah.
Oh!
I met them on the same day.
I know.
Well done, guys. Well done.
Thanks.
Yay!
Wow.
We're tied. 1-1.
I would have also accepted Stanley, the girl that played Sabrina, Teenage Witch, whose name Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah.
There you go. Chewbacca.
Peter Mayhew.
Peter Mayhew.
Mayhew. I don't know why I'm like forgetting people's names. Whatever. I've met a few people. Okie dokie. Ready for number 2?
Yes.
What is Brittany's dream job?
Is it? Am I going first
Me.
again? Or, okay.
Because, it rotates. Voice acting.
Yep.
This is too easy.
I was going to say that as well. Yes.
I'm just dinging if you guys are right or not.
See, this is probably going to be the first one I'm going to get wrong. This next question.
Well, I will do the steal.
What is the first movie Brittany saw in IMAX? It's not the one everybody else saw in IMAX.
not Avatar, so that'd be too easy.
Although I did enjoy that in IMAX. I saw it like 5 times.
So if you saw Avatar, so that wouldn't have been the first movie you saw then. I'm trying to think of how long IMAX has been out.
It was still around that time, if that helps.
It was still
That's all
around.
I'm going to say.
Are we allowed to Google? Is Googling allowed for...
Sure. You guys can Google to check the date of the film you're thinking I might have seen. I think I've mentioned it like once or twice on the show before, and it's like, yeah, so that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say more.
Oh.
There's
Well,
two.
he's got to go first.
I was going to say there's 2 possible films I could have saw before that, but I feel like one's going to fall for the obvious trap, and the other person will be correct.
Yeah, as I said, I'm not gonna get this right. So Julian, can
No,
just
no.
steal.
Well,
Say
you
it.
got to guess
You
one.
got to guess.
I'm not gonna. I already know it's
Just
wrong.
don't
I'm
say
not gonna,
Garfield.
Just say it. Just say it for the buzzer.
Just gonna say Avatar, but I know that's not right. Yeah.
It's such a sad buzz.
It is.
It's okay. That's a good guess, though.
Superman Returns.
Oh.
Oh my God.
What was it?
The film starring Jennifer Connelly herself, The Day the Earth Stood Still, the reboot film.
Wow. Nobody thinks of that movie.
That's what I said. And the only other thing I thought maybe someone would guess is Watchmen, because that was another film I saw that year in IMAX. But yeah, no.
Yeah, IMAX.
That was
is not
Jennifer. It's always Jennifer.
Okay.
But I did enjoy The Day the Earth Stood Still, as not good as it is. I liked Keanu and her a lot, so I went to see it with my whole family.
All right.
And IMAX won me over after that point.
So since we both got it wrong, does it still stay or does
It stays. Well, it goes to yeah. Because
I went first and you couldn't steal, so
it's me now, right?
This next one I'm excited for.
yeah.
Sure.
I think I know. I think I know one
Yeah.
of the answers to this.
Okay, so this one is a double tier question. So it's going to be, who is Brittany's favorite comic duo? But there is an option. There's an answer for DC and Marvel. So you have 2 chances of winning. And you don't have to name both unless you really think you know both.
All right, I know one of them.
I know one as well.
Harley and Ivy.
Yep.
Ding ding! You love that gay shit?
Harley and Ivy. So I might take a stab at Marvel because. So I'm gonna say, is it the I'm just thinking, like, once again, I'm just taking a stab at it. So from the Monica's mother and Captain Marvel from.
Nope. They got to be a comic duo.
Yeah. Well, is Captain Marvel not in the comic?
No, the mom, that's not really like a thing. Monica and Carol do butt heads in the comics, though, quite a bit.
Ooh, what's your Marvel one then?
You don't know, Julian? You got to guess. I'm just kidding. You got the DC one right. If you don't know, you get one guess, and if you don't get it right, it's fine. I feel like it will surprise people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cloak and Dagger.
Okay, then.
Are you keeping track of the actual score?
No, I'm just
I think
dinging.
you and I are like equal.
I was
We don't
dinging
like
for me.
one of us hasn't gotten one wrong and the other one gotten it right though.
You both got DC right, which is great. But
Okay.
that's why I picked comic duos. Because I think they both represent love in their purest forms.
All right, Matt's up for the next one.
Definitely check out both the shows, though. They're really good.
I'm pretty. I know this. I know this next question. I'm quite certain. I think I can name
Yeah,
both.
right? Which voice actor or voice actors have signed a video game for Brittany?
Troy Baker and Nolan North.
You like doing the double ding.
I like double dinging. Well, because there were two answers. Julian?
No, I mean, I'm just going to let Matt take the point because that was going to say
that
the
was
same
them.
thing. Matt can
Well,
take
the
point.
fact
That's
that you
fine.
guys
Well,
named
no,
them
we
as
both-
the
we both
famous
get a
people I
point.
met, I was just like, oh, well, they're going to get this question right later. Yep. Nolan signed Uncharted, and Troy signed The Last of Us for me. I almost made Nolan sign The Last of Us also, but I was like, nah, to be fair, sign Uncharted. But I was like, but I did love you in The Last of Us. And he's like, Jesus Christ. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, what could Brittany give a TED Talk on with zero prep time?
You know what I realized we should have done? We should have like written our answers and had them turned down, and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
that would have been I think the easier way to.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. What could Brittany give a TED Talk on with zero prep time? There's a plethora of answers.
There is.
This is kind of
I'm trying to think of like.
just think with zero prep time.
I already got my answer.
Agatha Harkness.
God damn it!
Technically, because I just did.
Yeah.
I was about to
Every
say. I was
episode
gonna say like Mephisto and all of the magical like cosmic creatures and such from the Marvel universe. So
I can't wait for cosmic entities.
Being
cosmic
gay.
entities. Thank you.
Okay, well, that was easy. I kind of rant about tons of things, so it's easy to be like, what can Brittany just talk about right now? Okay, next one. Who is Brittany's favorite Twitch streamer?
I don't know. See, I'm not big into Twitch. I don't know who you.
I will
watch.
give you a helpful hint. They are an actor.
Well, that doesn't help.
It narrows it down significantly.
Is it Troy Baker?
I don't think Troy streams.
Shannon Woodward.
I have
Shannon!
no idea who that is.
Matt? I'm going to bring in TED Talk. I'm just kidding. Have you seen Westworld?
No,
Oh my God. Have you seen Raising Hope?
no.
Oh my God. Hold on.
To be fair, I've never
not
seen
talking
either
about-
of
Oh,
those
God.
shows either.
It's okay. You guys, Raising Hope is one of the best sitcoms that has happened in the last 10 years, and I feel like a lot of people slept on it. It is very wholesome. The premise, it seems, I'm pretty sure you've seen commercials for it before, and you're just like, yeah, it doesn't really seem up my alley, but like, that show gets so meta and so good, and the cyclical jokes through it, top tier. I throw it on for my cats all the time. Like, whenever I leave the house, I'm just like, you're just going to watch a sitcom that I know runs for a few seasons, so by the time I get home, I'll just stop it. Like, highly suggested. It's very wholesome. And Westworld's just fucking amazing, and there's robots and shit. Next one. I'm proud of you, Julian. He only knows because I ran about it all the time.
There's
Or not really.
technically two answers to that too. I could do a bonus for that as well.
What's the bonus?
Ian Alexander.
Ian does have a Twitch, so I will approve. But I can only have one fave,
No, I know.
and unfortunately, it's not Ian.
Yeah.
It's okay. So, name one of Brittany's favorite movies.
Portrait of a Woman on Fire.
That's not the name of a movie.
Portrait of.
A Lady on Fire.
Damn
Guess it. Do you like how I paused and I was like, well, that's not a name.
I
of a
was
film.
I was thinking about when Julie got the
It's
title wrong.
been
I'm
a
like,
little bit. Matt Steels. I like it.
Only on a technicality.
I like it. No, I like it.
I like so many movies that literally could be anything. If it's gay, you have double the chance of me liking it. If it's gay and sad, I've probably cried and I still like it.
It's gay and sad.
Wow, you guys are doing so well. I'm so proud. Who is Brittany's favorite comic artist?
Yeesh, I don't know many comic artists, so
It's okay if you guys don't get this one.
I
because
mean Jack Kirby.
I like Jack, but
Yeah,
Jack deserves more respect.
this is where
They
Matt's
are-
lack of comic
They
knowledge
are an
bites him in the
artist-
ass.
They're a current artist now.
Yeah,
I am a horrible human being who reads comics and knows writers and doesn't know the artists' names mostly, so
That's
I don't have
fine.
an
It just
answer.
means Julian hasn't paid attention to my Twitter enough.
That's probably true as well.
Jen Bartel. Who does all the amazing cool colors that, like, cool covers that, especially with women, they look really good. And then they have like all the neon rainbow sort of colors with them. She's done a lot of X-Men covers. Sometimes I buy the comics just for the cover, even if I'm not going to read them, like Willow. Willow. My phone is going very slow.
Whenever I think of Willow, I just think of that old lady flinging the other old lady around.
Who is Brittany's favorite superhero?
So I feel like this is actually a trick question
It is.
because I'm gonna say probably what's the wrong answer, but like
Who is one of Brittany's favorite Well, I just love everybody.
I'm gonna say Captain Marvel. Oh, okay.
I would have also said Captain Marvel, honestly. Like, even because I also would have been like Julian, like, this is probably a trap answer, but
yeah.
She is technically my favorite superhero.
There you go. Okay. Well,
I've
that
had
makes me
many
feel better.
throughout my life.
That's the thing. I know you have a bunch
Yeah.
of favorites, and I'm like, even though you cosplay Captain Marvel, that she might not necessarily be your favorite.
a follow bonus answer is Miles Morales.
Ooh, I like that.
My love for both of them is like too strong.
Exceeds the universe.
But also, like, I still really love Jubilee from X-Men. People don't even like Jubilee anymore. Not that they really did in the 90s.
What
But
about Dazzler? No.
Jubilation Lee. Good job, guys. What martial art did Brittany teach / practice? Technically, I have taught and practiced 2. People don't know about the second one.
I think you've mentioned it once, and I can't remember. I'm just gonna take a stab and just say jujitsu. Yeah.
Newt.
Taekwondo.
Oh.
I would have also
Matt,
accepted...
I love you because I was going to say jujitsu.
Yikes. I would have also accepted Krav Maga because technically I taught that for an entire summer. They didn't pay me, but they let me take classes for free. And it's funny because I didn't know Krav Maga. I just would learn a move in class and then I would teach the kids the next day. And that was at a like really accredited place from like original like line of Krav Maga teachers. I don't know why they hired me. That was a good summer. Totally forgot about that until I wrote this. Anyway, last question. Dun dun dun. Who is Brittany's favorite video game character
Ellie.
of all time? I didn't even get to finish it.
I would.
I know.
Ellie was also my favorite.
This was the most
choice
obvious one. I was
said
just like,
for
if you got this wrong, we couldn't be friends. Well, I think you guys tied, right?
No, I think Julian might have
you got it
won
with
by
the Twitch streamer.
No, because I stole from him, but I think he won because of the martial arts question. I think he got 1 point. Over.
I mean, we're all winners. We're all
You both did better.
friends.
Well,
good.
You actually
close
did exactly how
besties.
well I thought you'd do. Because the question said, I'm like, yeah, they won't know this. You didn't. But, wow. Friendship.
Friendship.
How many questions did you get right, listeners? That's the real question. How well do you know me?
How many times have you listened to this podcast and remembered?
Yeah, somebody's like, well, in episode 32, Brittany mentioned that she taught martial arts and specifically Taekwondo, so I got that one right. They're like going back through it.
Jesus.
Are you hungry on button power now?
I really just want to press everything, so that's why I was just like,
Well, don't press any of the next ones because that's for the bonus pod. But
okay, I guess I gotta relinquish my role as
relinquish control.
head of
you
the
wanna-
board.
You want to hear those buttons? You better fucking tune into Bonus Pod. Become a patron.
Yeah, that's right. Nice segue.
We'll segue because all aboard Snowpiercer.
So yes, Snowpiercer is back with, I believe this is episode 5 already, if I'm not mistaken, or episode 4.
4 or 5, one of the two.
One of those. A single trade. And Matt, we're going to start with you this time. Your thoughts on this episode.
So, and I know I mentioned this to you, Julian, before we start recording. This so far was, in my opinion, the weakest episode of this season.
Agreed.
First of all, no Jennifer Connelly, which, I obviously love her character, and Brittany's head just immediately came up. She was looking at her phone.
Who dares speak her name?
But yes, no Jennifer Connelly, which really surprised me because I thought we were going to see, her at this station and everything like that. And my thought process about this was Jennifer Connelly, in reality had something going on or where she had to leave set for a time. And so they had to kind of hand wave write her out for a couple episodes.
Nah. This is all according to plan. They want to leave it in your mind where like she left, it's been a few days, what's happened, is she okay, whatever, and then they're moving on in the train and you're like, what if Bob's after her? What if it already happened? What if this is happening?
So I'm with Matt on this. I thought that there was a real missed opportunity. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on with not even showing a second of Melanie's journey. I don't know if they're going to do that in the next episode of the
It'll
episode,
be a whole episode
or
of
like
her.
you're like 48 hours before the events of this episode or something like that, which I think would actually be it would take away from what the show is. I feel like just like Snowpiercer, the show is constantly moving and there's all these moving parts. So I feel like doing a flashback would kind of take away.
It would detract.
Yeah.
Derail.
And it just not seeing her possibly like struggling to get there makes like her making contact with the water balloon in the episode. The weather balloon in fuck you.
We're going to deploy the water balloon, guys.
It's so warm out now, we have water.
They just throw a water balloon out, freeze
Like
instantly.
shrapnel.
Oh, man, it's still cold out there, guys.
That's how we know. Yeah, her making contact with the weather balloon just didn't. There was no like, oh, okay. There was no. You didn't see the struggle of that happening, so it kind of cheapens it a little bit.
I do kind of agree with Brittany that this next episode might show like a bunch of what happened to her.
Or what if it's not her who released the balloon?
Well, remember they were linking to the balloon. It wasn't
Yeah,
the
exactly.
release. So
Yeah, that was just them setting up all the ones they have to get back to her, right?
No, that was
they're trying to measure the atmosphere and get readings to say,
yeah.
all right,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
warmer. And
but
Yeah,
that
'cause she's
specific
getting the data.
balloon was the one that she needed to uplink to.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So
Either way, we don't know what's in store for her.
I also wasn't the biggest fan of the whole weird psychic sex thing with Wilford and the other character. I'm fine with, the establishing of the relationship, and you could do something to show that she's like, messing with Wilford and all that stuff like that. But it got a little too weird for me because when the one it's like 5 minutes and like Wilford's like basically like got her foot and everything, and I just like, okay, I'm just gonna shut this.
She's like, hospitality, okay. Yeah, my dad walked out while I was watching that part, and he was like, what the hell? And I was like, I don't even have the time to explain what's going on in this episode.
I can't
have the time.
Was it this episode or last? I can't remember. Where Ruth let her hair down, and she looked pretty damn good with her hair down.
It was this episode.
Yeah,
she did.
She looked great with her hair down.
See, when hospitality lets their hair down,
Yeah.
we are all aflutter.
Speaking of hospitality, I really like the twist of Zara joining hospitality.
Yes.
I like that a lot because everybody's right, but Andre in this situation. Andre needs Ruth, and Zara realizes that. And this is also kind of like Zara. Let's not, mince words. Zara always has a bit of a, not a directive, but also has a, what's the word I'm looking for? Everybody's got a, like Wilford's got an angle and a motive. Like
Okay.
Zara's got an angle too.
I was like, everyone's got a Zara.
Everybody's got a Zara. So I did like that. Yeah, I'm stuck on them not focusing on Melanie at all, but everything else about the episode was fantastic. The cinematography, which we'll talk about later, the cinematography and costume design was amazing. So
What?
My thoughts. Another great episode from Snowpiercer. It just makes me think, like, the writers on the show are so good at what they do. Like, they fit so much into these episodes sometimes where it's just like, wow, like, you really planned this and bored this out. Like, there's a lot of other shows that would easily just put, like, filler and then, like, another key point and then filler. Like, this show can't afford filler, really. It's like, here's all these different, like, sort of strings and motives and different people and players, and it's like there's a constant power struggle. It's not just two people either. And then the only downside is, yes, Melanie has left the train and we didn't get to see her at all this episode. So that was a little bit of a bummer. You're like, this is the first episode of Snowpiercer. I've not seen Jennifer Connelly's face. That being said, it was cool to see stuff about other more side characters because, if the show is always so focused on what Melanie's doing, what Leighton's doing, what, Wilford's doing. That's three big people you're splitting the show between to begin with, and then the smaller people get less and less. So you got to see more of Bess handling things or dealing with her trauma this
Bess
episode.
went through a lot in this episode.
This was a big trauma episode. So I will say that. I thought it was cool. But I do feel really bad for the girl in the Nigh Car that's got to, deal with him again. I know there's a lot there.
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's so bad for someone to go back to an abusive sort of relationship like that. I know that she's like, I'm doing this for me and not for you guys or any of your causes. So it's good that it's at least on her terms, but at the same time, you're like, are you going to be okay, though?
Yeah.
I hope you will be.
She's really good.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Audrey, the actress, is Lena Hall. She was awesome this episode. I'm 99% positive that was her doing all the dancing.
Yeah, I was going to
well.
say,
Yeah,
she was
I'm
her
sure it
like
was.
singing, dancing, and
Yeah.
seducing.
Seducing.
A+, ma'am, A+.
So one plot thread that I'm actually very curious to see where they go with it, because we didn't even talk about this character, if at all, was what they're doing with Josie now, because because the doctors looked at her and said, "Oh, you need like custom skin grafts and everything," and then you see her laying on a table next to Icy Bob, and
Icy Bob.
Wilford's kind of looking at her, and she kind of looks over, and he's already gone from the door, so that tells me that he's viewing her like, this is my way to get into them.
Mm-hmm.
So
And she already kind of guessed that, too. She was just like, I don't think I'm making out of this actually recovering. Like, when she was talking to Leighton about
Right.
it, she's like, I'll try to learn all that I can while I'm
Right.
there. But, like, she was surprised at first. She's like, how does he know so much about us already? Like, and there's just so many people, and, like, not the brakemen, but the other people. I forget their names. Like they said, there's just so many people that are, like, pro-Wilford everywhere, but it's like...
the guys who, like, deal with the cold and
Yeah.
everything, those guys. Yeah, I forget what they're called.
Firefighters.
Yeah, that's
the Reachman or something?
Yeah,
Reachman, yeah.
Reachman, that's it. Reachman.
I do think, is the next episode hints at already that she's already getting the grafts. I do think that she's going to end up being healed. I think that Josie, because so far, I think I said it last week, I'm not a huge fan of Josie being back. I think it cheapens what happened in season 1.
Yeah.
But they could do something very unique with her character and have her turn, which would be interesting.
Well, think about it, because Wilford, if they basically heal her, Wilford could be like, Josie, we helped you. We got you. Now we need something from you, Josie.
Yeah.
He'll probably leverage the child against her for some reason. And
Maybe,
it won't be
yeah.
more so, it'll be to get back at Leighton, whatever he does, but it won't be like he's threatening Leighton. It'll be like threatening her kid.
Or this gets us an avenue into learning more about Icy Bob.
Icy Bob.
I see, but yeah, maybe they're laying there together and she's slowly getting healed and she's like, so what brings you in?
I kind of really was wishing when she was looking over at Wilford for a second, he wasn't there. Icy Bob just would have turned to her and just been like, do his Icy
Like
Bob
another
middle
football.
finger. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, I hope she gets healed, but I think she also knows that like she's gonna end up being like a pawn again for whatever.
Someone.
Or
I just don't want her. I just don't want her to look like nothing ever happened to her. Like,
That's
we
exactly
totally
what's
healed.
that's exactly
I
what's
don't
gonna
want
happen,
that.
though.
I don't like give her scars. Give her like.
Well, she's gonna be missing a hand still.
Yeah.
like you do when it's shattered by Melanie. Well, I mean, I don't know if it'll be like 100% healed because Melanie, since she didn't do like all the treatments, she just got a little bit like she still has like, look, this was like 3rd degree like frostbite.
Yeah.
And
We shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see. Speaking of Melanie, we already kind of talked about whether we think it's a missed opportunity that they didn't show the outside more.
I'm melancholy without her.
Even
I Melanie her in my life.
I feel like
Brittany.
even if they show a little bit of her in this weather station later on, I think they really missed not showing any of her journey to get there.
So here's what I think could happen is that this next episode deals primarily with her journey and her experience. And I could see there being like some kind of action set beat where she's fighting off people and she's trying to hit the thing to basically tell them that she's there and everything. Because if she doesn't acknowledge it, then they're going to think she's dead.
Yeah.
And I could see there being, once again, that episode kind of centered around that of Melanie. Now, the problem I have with that is, though, is that it's already slightly cheapened by the fact that we know she makes it. Like, she hits the thing, she does all that and such. And I do think that, yes, we could have seen her at least journeying towards the facility or whatever, and then you leave it ambiguous about what happens after that.
Yeah. Agreed.
I have so many thoughts going through my brain. But yeah, I feel like they probably wanted to do both of these episodes at the same time. Like whatever's going on with Melanie and then this whole getting into like, oh, Wilford has a weakness. This woman he really like, this is what he's hung up on and really was traveling around the world for, like that sort of thing. But I feel like if you would have spliced any in to cut the other out, it would have lessened the effect of this episode and like the tones. I feel like the tones are whatever they do for Melanie would probably have like messed it up. So
Yeah.
they probably know what they're doing. I trust the show. We'll see. I just hope that it's not just like a boring Melanie thing. It's like, what happened?
No,
Tell me.
I mean,
it's been 3 days. Where is she?
We all want to know for sure. This episode may not have been. I think Matt. I think you still liked it a lot, Brittany. Matt and I didn't like it as much. The one thing that succeeded and then some was the production design and costumes this week. Like that's the true winners of this episode. I thought everything about. One of the things that Snowpiercer has continually done well and exceeds any other show at doing is making Snowpiercer itself feel like this living, ever-evolving place. From third class to second class, the markets, to the Night Car, which is its own unique, awesome animal. I mean, how awesome were Wilford's crew's costumes? The almost 1920s flap dancer style of the people who were in first class, taking part in this, in Wilford's return to his, I guess he keeps calling it his Night Car. I mean, everything about how they shot it and dressed people was just beautiful.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was every episode of Snowpiercer has been exceptionally well made. This episode was no different. And yeah, once again, even though I wasn't a fan of this episode, I still obviously very much love the show and want to see where the plot line goes with Wilford's weakness, because Miss Audrey even says like he'll be where we'll have him where we need him when the time comes. So yeah, I'm curious to see though what Audrey or Miss Audrey or however you want to call her, like what exactly what is she going to do to Wilford to essentially get him to where they need him.
Yeah.
They need him in the tub. I thought that was wild though. I was just like, yikes, this dude is fucked up. We already knew that, but
Yep.
You made me cut.
I like that when he and the fact that you see it in the beginning of the episode too, and you're just like, oh god.
Oh, we're gonna explore that, right?
Yeah.
Like we're gonna see that.
But when Alex called him out on having the paramour, and he was just like, don't you say that, and I was like, woo, daddy angry.
He continues to fucking just exceed and be brilliant in this role.
He's a superior being.
I'd have to like run the pages, but know that I would have sound buttoned you for that one.
Snow that he would have.
And of course they finally do something with the LJ character.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. New friendship, right? Between Alex and LJ.
No, she's obviously trying to use Alex to essentially learn what Wilford likes and all that stuff to get into his graces and essentially she wants to basically bump off Alex to become his favored daughter or whatever.
I think that is the predictable route.
Yes.
I just don't like LJ.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't like her either. And we talked about like, what are they going to do with her this season? I think that they're not going to go that predictable route. I think they are going to be friends. They might become even like frenemies at some point, but right now.
I thought you were going to say lovers. I was like, oh God, no.
The underage girl, no.
No, I was just like, cause he's like, they're going to become, and I was like, no, I can't do it.
No.
I don't have the strength.
No,
I
think they both know like they're important people, and I think they're going to play that off each other. Alex knows exactly who she is. LJ knows exactly who Alex is. I see them doing something unique here, whether we know what that is or not.
Alex doesn't know who LJ is because remember, LJ was on trial for murder and such like that.
Okay,
Alex, I don't think knows any of that.
She does know she's like a crazy Wilford fangirl though, because
Yes.
immediately when they entered the train, she was like, Wilford, and like was all crazy and crying and hugging and weird shit.
Yeah.
I liked their little dome moment though. I was like, look at that Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis or like weird cool sky stuff. It looked nice, and trains do have some of those these days.
They do. You could do like the whole Amtrak coast to
I
coast
was like,
thing.
look at this little skybox moment, and they're getting all high in the skybox.
I did like we got to see the very giant depth of like just how big the train is and seeing it from the atmosphere and seeing it go across basically Alaska to I can see Russia from my house.
I can see Rocky.
She thick.
Yeah, she thick. So yeah, no. I really liked the Alex and LJ scene was probably my favorite scene of the episode, even though I don't like LJ very much. I thought it was very unique and very well shot and very well acted.
I like the Alex scenes a lot.
Yeah, same.
Just two girls getting
Two girls getting high.
Classic shenanigans, kids. Classic shenanigans.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anything else on a single trade?
Negative.
More weed in Encyclopedia Britannicas.
This is the W one. Okay, Jan, that's normal to have. I look at Wilford every night.
Let's give our rating out of 5 Icy Bobs.
I'm going to do 4 out of 5 Icy Bobs. I liked what they were doing with the tone, and I like that they throw a little suicide prevention at the end where I'm just like, thank you.
Well, they've done
They need
that
to do
every
that.
episode.
They
one
basically
that's had,
have to,
Yeah,
but
they do. They do.
yeah, it's like an intense episode for people that have been in relationships like that, so that was cool. I like the dynamics and the strings. It's just crazy that, like, you know, Melanie left the train, so you're just like, oh man, what's going to happen now? And, like, the train shit's just getting wild, so you're like, Jesus Christ, like, what is going on this train?
Yeah.
And then you're like, I kind of want to be like Melanie, I just want to leave.
Yep. Anyway, Matt, rating?
I'm kind of bouncing between like a 3 and a 3.5. So it'd be hard. I'd have to really think about it in order to pin an actual more of a
I'm
score
not going to
down.
argue.
Yeah, as I said, this was my least favorite episode of the season so far. So yeah, you can kind of have me bounce between those two scores depending on when you catch me.
I like it. I'll decide for you. I'm at a 3.5 out of 5 Icy Bulbs. Yeah, and just don't say the word Paramore, and you'll be fine. So
It's just more setup, you know?
yeah,
It's just less setup.
It's still a great show. No one's saying any different.
Yeah, 3.5 of Snowpiercer is like a 5 for any other show.
That's a good point.
Let's be honest.
That is going to do it for this edition of Everything is Permitted. We will be back next week, as always, with Matt. What's coming back next week, good sir?
Oh no, you didn't tell me that.
Oh no!
Oh no, Raiders of the fucking bargain bin.
It is the end of the month, which means Raiders of the Bargain Bin.
Oh my god. Oh god, no.
More Snowpiercer, more WandaVision, all that next week. We will say to you, good night. See you another time.
You can find Everything is Permitted on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Everything is Permitted is produced by Rob Migliaccio, Nikki Veazey, and Geneva Stein-Shivers. Our executive producers are Michael Cox, Brittany Tomes and the Tomes family, and Julian Brown.